question I had about, because one of the things I noticed recently especially when we, even if you're on social media and you play a clip more than 30 seconds, Instagram or Facebook will say this music is owned by Warner Brothers, Sony, Universal, and even an artist can't even play their own stuff that they write for a period of time because the label seems to have ownership of it. And when you look back at when you guys wrote your own stuff and you had your hits, and then you hear about Prince and Michael Jackson, now even Kanye, talking about the more successful they became, the more they start realizing we've made all this money, but we don't seem to have a bigger ownership of the stuff that we've created. Did you sense that as when you guys came out and you were having these hits, that we're writing all this stuff and creating it, but somebody else has a bigger ownership of this in the long run? Forget about now, but 10 years, 20 years down the road, they will take it away. Did that part of come to your knowledge?
Yeah, it was weird. It's really weird when your creativity, something that you created, somebody like own the rights. But I guess that's what comes with being in the music business is all about, like, you got to trade off something, man. So that's again why I say this era is a great era where, you can retain your own masters and you can have your own music and it's yours. So that's one of the things why I say that the independent era is a great era to be in. And for you to own your own, have ownership of your own songs. But back then, when you were signed to these labels and stuff like that, it just came with the program, man. That's just how it was. So you see a lot of artists who recently have got their masters back, like Chris Brown and a few other people. They bought their masters back.
Wow.
You see it happening now. So and it's just part of the game, man.
Yeah. But then because it seems if you had the fateful night of meeting Gerald LeVert and things just took off like that. Did it happen so quick that did you guys know about the publishings, about royalties, about all this stuff prior to getting signed, so that you knew? Because we've watched the New Edition story, TLC, talking about we're selling millions of albums, but we didn't get any money because they didn't really understand about being signed to a production company who takes all the money and stuff. Did you guys know about that early on, so that at least you knew what was coming in and you were assigned to the business part of things?
Yeah, we learned because our lawyer explained it to us.
Okay.
And, at the time we were listening, I'm like, wow, so this is how it go? And we're like, yeah, hey, you get an opportunity. So, you get a standard first-time artist contract, and you find out that those are the ins and outs of the game. So we were very aware, of what the situation presented as far as the publishing and the masters being owned by the label, and percentages going to management and to the production and all that, man. So it was it's an eye-opening experience, I'll tell you that.
Was it hard knowing that a record sells and it's going to sell for $10 and you'd probably get less than 50 cents or something like that? Was it hard performing and the numbers coming in and knowing that, man, at the end of the day our paychecks are not going to mirror up to the fact we've got a number one record? Or did you guys just got caught up in the success and the fame that the money part didn't really come until later?
Everything and how it went, and because I was a student of the game. I did a lot of studying into the music business and seeing stories about other artists before making it, and a lot of those stories were New Edition. A lot of people didn't know about, but as time went, you hear rumblings and ramblings of artists being disgruntled or whatever. But we never were like that artist, to be honest. I wasn't anyway. Maybe a couple of the other guys, they felt that way, but I wasn't one of the ones. I was happy to be just doing what I'm doing and being able to be given the opportunity. And I'm just learning about the business as you're going in the business, and just looking to the future and, looking forward to owning my own stuff and, you know, being able to, you know, have more of a chokehold on my own material.
Yeah, yeah. So going forward, I know that you mentioned that you're looking at making videos with not just with the Rude Boys, but yourself. But over the next 5 years, what's the plan? Are you going to start your own label, or is that needed anymore to put out stuff? Are you going to start developing other artists, or how do you see the next couple of years going for you?
I currently have my own label called Brother to Brother International that is owned by me and my best friend Mark Jenkins. The 3 songs that I put out last year were Brother to Brother International. We have an artist named Dear Neuroscience, which is a rapper, and I did a song with them. So we've been working with him, and we're about to release a song called Run It Up in the next month or so with him. Just always looking to work with different artists, writing and producing. I haven't really signed any artists or anything. Really just focusing on my career and just getting the best out of what I can get out of me now. And if somebody comes along that I like or see, you know, possibly work with them. But just within the next 5 years, really just continuing to work on my music, tour, work with my coffee and push my Urban Joe coffee, and that's about it.
Yeah. Are you still writing for other people? Because if you did that quite a bit in the late 90s, early 2000s, did you just stop writing and producing for others and just to focus on yourself?
Yeah, I started working more so with artists or whatever, but just really was focusing on my music, man, and writing. But now, you know, I'm really just still more so focused on myself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I definitely appreciate the, you know, as I said, catching you on your way to the show and the stuff, and sometimes the signal goes in and out and stuff. But I think one of the things that we tend to ask our guests towards the end is if you were stuck on an elevator and you had a choice to watch a movie while they get it fixed, what movie would you want to watch while before they get you out? Ray
Charles movie with Jamie Foxx.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the one he got the Oscar for. Okay. And if they're saying, okay, we're going to put the movie on, but before we do, we can give you one of your favorite songs to listen to. What would you want to listen? What song would that be?
"Man in the Mirror" by Michael Jackson.
Wow. Okay. What about why that song?
Because "Man in the Mirror" is one of my favorite songs of all time, because just it talking about you loving yourself, knowing yourself, and making better changes within yourself. I'm a big stickler about people understanding who they are and being able to attach to themselves and knowing why they're here in this universe and knowing what their purpose is in life. And that song speaks volumes when it comes to self-love and being intuitive and self-discovery.
Yeah, and you know, the way Michael performed just as well with the with the passion and stuff. I guess I just never really got to know who the artist that inspired sort of you, because you did mention singing Babyface, I'm sure the Dells, but was there an artist that group of artists that you personally was like, I'm gonna mold my voice to try and sing like him, or trying to, like, these were my sort of, not role models, but where you're thinking as a singer, if I could be in this lane, that out, you know, I've really made it.
My favorite singer of all time is Stevie Wonder. So I never tried to really mold my voice and sound like him, but I just really admired his voice, and he's my all-time favorite. And then second to him would be Frank Sinatra. I love Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
So those are my two favorite singers.
Now I can understand Stevie Wonder. I mean, you know, as a songwriter, performer, singer, you know, he's probably one of the top 3. But Frank, and I think, you know, it's quite unusual to understand how Frank, being a sort of I don't even know a contemporary type of artist from an R&B side. What was it about Frank Sinatra that stands out?
How smooth his voice was, his tone, and just how cool of a cat he was, man.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. I like the swagger. I like the way that he just crooned. He was a smooth crooner, and I just admired the way that he just sung, man. The smoothness, the tone, the correctness.
Yeah. And yeah, I think this goes back to what you said earlier when you said that you left the gospel scene because it was a smaller sort of market, and then you sort of looked into R&B because it had a wider market, but that you were more versatile with your music. But I can now see how trying to mold yourself a little bit like Frank, who I never really understood how he was able to just become so popular. And I guess it's a style of music that he had that really appealed to a lot of people, which you've got to be in the industry to really know that. But do you ever think, as you're going forward, that you'd go either back to gospel, into pop, or into classical or stuff going forward? Do you think you'd expect move around in that, or would you still stay predominantly in your R&B now that you have control over what you write, what you put out?
I've been wanting to do jazz. Jazz is another genre that I have been experiencing, cutting records in the studio doing. So I have tried out jazz, and that's one of the areas. Revisiting gospel, doing some gospel stuff, music, things like that. But there's maybe some jazz, gospel.
Okay. Well, definitely. I mean, I know you're on your way to your show, and I really appreciate the time and stuff. We had a little technical differences in between stuff, but that was good to just to hear in the journey, the experience, and I think a lot of what a lot of people are seeing now is the fact that there's a shift from majors to the independent side. And I guess if you had an advice for any new up-and-coming artist who is running after a major label, what would you sort of give advice to somebody that's probably new, they've got their writers, producers, and now they're thinking, how do I get my stuff out?
I would just tell them to work hard in the studio, write their own music, and try to put it out independently. Try to get up some money, pony up some money, and push your project. But for them just to know how the music business is going these days, and put your best foot forward out there. Work hard. Chasing the majors. The majors are only going to mess with you if you already have a fan base and you're proving in the market and out there that that you're making some noise. So it's very rare that they're grabbing people that's just raw talent who nobody don't know. With the social networks being out here, you have to build your fan base up, and the label wants to see that you're able to move some records before they even sign you. They want to see if you did something on your own. So it's really good to get out here on your own feet and just try to put out your own things and see what happens,
Yeah, but it's strange because when you think back in the late 80s, groups could push out, a label would develop an artist. I remember guys, a Future album, they released 7 singles. I mean, that's just saying the label just saying, yeah, and if you went gold, as you said, you sold 250,000. But back in those days, it was considered big, and there was not much pressure. It doesn't, based on what you're saying, it doesn't seem as the labels have the patience to want to bring somebody up and says, we've seen something there, we want to cultivate, and we're in it for the long haul. Do you see that's shifted, where it's like, if you're not going to make us a hit right now, we don't need you, we don't have that time? Or do you think you just need to find the right label? What's your take?
My take is that you need to do it yourself, period. That's the best way nowadays, because you're not going to get on a label unless you already got something going. The label is not going to sign you if you haven't shown that you can stream, that you have a following. You got to have a following. That's just the way it's rolling. A major label, that's the way they work. That's the way the game go. But independent is the way, man.
Yeah, but if the Rude Boys were coming out today, and Gerald had seen you guys, would you get a deal with Warner now, as you did back then? So have they changed from how they gave you guys a chance?
Deals are still the same, basically. 360 deals. Deals are still the same. If they do pick you up and do like that, they front the money, they do it, you get percentages, and it's the same cycle.
Oh, but by that time you guys went big nationally before they picked you up. They saw there was a chat. We see something here. We can develop.
They signed us without even knowing who we were. Gerald. They went on Gerald's word.
Oh, so no audition. You didn't have to. They didn't see you in concert.
Nope. We didn't even have to audition. Nothing. They never heard no music from us. Never. They didn't even know us. They gave us a deal.
Wow.
They went with Gerald's word, and Gerald's word turned out to be really good. We had 2 #1 hit singles off the first album and a Billboard award the first album.
Wow.
So he knew what he was talking. He knew what he was talking about.
But was he consistent with you guys before he passed on the other albums? And was it harder?
Before he passed, we were not all associated. I mean, me and Gerald were still friends. We were writing and producing together, so we kept our relationship going. But as far as with the group, he wasn't dealing with the other members in the group anymore, just me. Okay.
Wow. So I guess I guess this is for any of the young artists who are looking out and thinking, I need to knock down on the majors. Is that you're saying, develop your own portfolio, put your stuff out there, try and get the stream, try and market it out, and in some sense you have some leverage in yourself to decide if you need to go by a major or trying to do it yourself. Is that sort of the advice you think?
That again?
Yeah, no, I'm saying for any of the young artists who'll be watching and listening, especially from you who's been in the game for such a long time, your advice is generally to cultivate your talent, your portfolio, your craft, trying to build a network, get people to like what you're doing, and not chase the quick money with the labels, but trying to have more control of your creativity.
Yes, definitely. And then if you hit it big on your own and do some good things, and then the label want to come and give you some money and push you to be bigger, then there's nothing wrong with it. It just depends on what type of deal it is.
Yeah.
Most of the time if you hit it big and you independent, you cool. You don't need it. You can't. The record label can take you to another level, but you're gonna start cutting yourself.
Yeah.
Cutting yourself off with some of the money you get. So it's all about a sacrifice. Do you want to sacrifice your total independence and become bigger and even larger, but you get your money cut up more, or do you want to do it on your own hands? There's a lot of successful independent artists that's out here making it on their own.
Yeah. Well, you've really given me a lot of your time and a lot of your today and stuff like that. So I appreciate it. It's quite a lot of knowledge that we've received as well about for those who watch who are looking to try and get in and stuff like that. So I appreciate it. The show that you're doing, where will people be able to get to see it? Is it live, or is it recorded live, or will people?
Yeah, it's gonna be live. So I'll give Elise the link, and she'll send it to you. It'll be going on like probably around 8 o'clock. I'm just trying to get to the studio so we can get all the kinks out or whatever. And it's gonna be live. I'll send you the link, and you'll be able to watch tonight.
Okay. Yeah, it's about 11 o'clock here in the UK, but
yeah.
Yeah, depending on what time it is and stuff. But it's but hopefully people can be able to see later on some of the new stuff that you're coming out with and stuff.
No problem, no doubt.
But I appreciate it, and I also appreciate Elise for setting it up. And but as I said, you're in the middle of your going to a concert, taking time out to talk to us and giving us a life history lesson, but also giving us a glimpse as to what's going on down for you and also for the artists coming forward. you know, really looking at building your own stuff and having more of an ownership and stuff. So definitely appreciate. Good luck tonight, and but you know, I'll be watching to see what's going on, and before, as we push this stuff out, we'll start to get people aware of what you're doing and stuff.
Okay, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, take care.
All right.
All right.